The last time the IORA Cup Series went points-paying racing, James Thurston came home victorious at Monza, and now he's looking to go back-to-back as we are in the 17th round of the series. This is the IORA Cup Series once again at Okayama in Japan, and right now it looks like one car is going to be beached out. That is the 099 machine of Sean Rowe, going to get back on his way as Thurston leads the charts right now with 1 minute 33.320, top of the board out of a total of 13 drivers thus far. And if you take a quick moment to pause there, it looks like these guys are still loading into our session. Rowe, the only driver with no timed lap on the board just yet, as we have 7 minutes remaining in practice before we head on to our 10-minute qualifying break, and then we get the race started in just about 15 minutes right now. Looks like 12 drivers have gotten their times on the board. Thurston first on the charts, Aiden Walker in third, as Chase Schaefer is in second, and River Page is in fourth, with Sean Conklin position number 5, as it looks like he's going to go off the track for just a moment and get back on his way. Mason Moriarty, position number 6 in the 6 machine. Jacob Wilkerson, the 058, coming back once again. He is in 7th on the board as it stands. And right behind him, it will be the driver of Alex Anderson. He is in 8th on the charts. And going further from there, it's going to be Greg Kalhoff in 9th and Vincent Guecci in 10th as Alexander Valderas returns to the track currently. He is 11th. And Braxton Whitaker, the final driver with a timed lap, he is 12th on the board as we speak. And he's going to come back on, trying to get a bit more improvement in that lap time. We'll see what he's capable of doing as the 96 Red Bull machine still leads the way here in Japan. And he's got the fastest car, and he has certainly worked for it. He's about 90 hundredths of a second above the driver of Chase Schaefer, 90 thousandths now. And Aiden Walker is about half a second back. James Thurston on another level right now. And we'll see whether or not he's able to hold on to that advantage that he has over the remainder of the field last time through at Monza. We only had one caution. It was a competition caution to ensure the drivers get bunched up once again, and the only driver to lead a lap was James Thurston. Thurston on a tear last time by, and yet another road course, back-to-back road courses, and looks to be able to do the same thing once again. The 96 leading the way in practice, and he has a lot of pace. Chase Schaefer might be the only guy with a similar amount as he goes through the first turn there. Looks like he almost got loose, and you can see he's fighting the car as we're going to go on board with the driver of the 96 and see how he's going in practice. And you can see all the gears that he's shifting through from second to third to fourth that time. And a lot of handwork, slightly left, slightly right, making sure everything is perfect. As this time by, he almost gets it all the way down into the first gear, 5,000 revs a minute in second, and then gets it back on his way, going through the DRS section of the track. And these cars are not F1 machines. They don't have DRS, but this is still a great opportunity to get some passes through with the slipstream, as James Thurston is absolutely catching up to Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson breaks a lot earlier than Thurston does, and he's able to close in just a bit more on the driver of that 058 machine. Wilkerson is about 2 seconds off of your race leader in practice right now. And you can see from here's the rear end view, Thurston is closing in slowly but surely as they make another lap around the circuit. Last time by for Jacob Wilkerson, he had a 1 minute 43 second lap, and James Thurston set a 1 minute 33.1. The fastest lap he set all session long is that 1 minute 33.1, and now he's going to have a 3/10 of a second advantage over Chase Schaefer in the 99 machine. As the Quantum Quest heats up, James Thurston might just be the favorite to take home the $300 prize at the end of the season and eventually come home as your champion. Thurston on the move once more in the 96, not a Ford, although it is on the Ford body, it is a Nissan in the driver of the 96 hands, as Undecided Racing and Brandon Redford are going to come into the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the fun here as Thurston goes way wide with 3 minutes and 42 seconds remaining. River Page is in third right now on the board, as he's going to be able to pass Sean Conklin by 70 thousandths of a second. He gets up into that top 3 segment. Alexander Balderas is upside down to the Adobe Creative Cloud machine, and a big incident there for Balderas. He's 11th on the charts, about 4 seconds off of your practice leader, so he's got a lot of time to make up. Greg Kalhoff in a similar boat. He's about half a second up on Balderas, as Jacob Wilkerson now falling through the charts in the 8th spot, getting chased down still by James Thurston. And his last lap was almost his best, about a half second off, as James Thurston going to barrel it in and hit the tire barrier and despawn from the racing service. River Page going to park it that time through Sean Conklin in the 4th spot, and he is looking to make a few more gains. He's still 70 thousandths off of the podium here in practice. And while times in practice might not mean all too much, you got to learn a lot when you have the opportunity to do so. An open track, everyone can get on the surface, and these laps don't mean as much as qualifying. So learning the optimal way around the circuit is crucial to making something happen here in Okayama, because this is, for some of these guys, the first time they've ever raced here with the NASCAR Cup Series cars. And while Okayama is a free track, it's not often associated with NASCAR, let alone these next-gen machines, as the Toyota Camry of the 54 machine backs it down to the inside line once again. Aiden Walker now 76 thousandths off of the driver Conklin himself, as he's slowly but surely giving a River Page some room to run his own lap. And Walker hoping to chase him back down as they go down the back straightaway here. One of the longest sections that is a straightaway before the tight hairpin, as James Thurston is chasing the both of them. And Walker that time through going to send to the tire barrier, as well as Page, and it looks like as well as James Thurston. And everyone seems to be messing around right now. A lot of time to be had, as 13 cars look to be entered into tonight's race. And Undecided Racing in chat again, who do you think is going to win? Well, a lot of guys have a lot of great options to choose from, and James Thurston has the pace so far. He's half a second up on the best lap Chase Schaefer has put down, and it might be one of the favorites to go into this one, but don't count on a guy like River Page, Sean Conklin, Aiden Walker, or Chase Schaefer. They all have a great shot. Mason Moriarty in that mix as well. 7 guys within 2 seconds of the practice leader in terms of lap time. And James Thurston getting back on track once again with Aiden Walker. Thurston just looks to be the fastest so far. We'll see whether or not he's able to hold on to that. Is possible he does, possible he doesn't. It is only practice, and track conditions will change as lines develop and form across the racing surface. And we'll see whether or not that is going to happen here at Okayama. It's going to be either a big-time race when it comes to tires and fuel, or a small-time race. You could get a lot of cautions, could have very minimal strategy decided by the drivers, or we could go all the way green. We went all the way green at Monza, an 18-lap showdown there, besides one caution. That caution was not out for an incident, so these guys have the opportunity to go very long, very far here without any break. And James Thurston, knowing this, coming down to the stripe next time by, looks like he's going to push Aiden Walker into the tire barrier, as Sean Conklin still on his way trying to get some more improvement into his lap. River Page in the 3rd spot. And it looks like this time by going to be able to put together a lap, although he's going to spin it on the second to last corner, able to hold on to it, and only just going to barely touch the front side of that gravel trap and get back on his way in the Miata Gang Designs number 24 machine. And with 10 seconds left remaining in qualifying, it actually might be just a bit more, as timing will reset to give these guys about a half lap's worth of extra time. And if they're even going to make it through turn 1, that's a big question, as practice is over. And James Thurston is the fastest man in it. Thurston, top of the board by half a second as we enter qualifying for tonight's race here in Okayama. And we've got a doubleheader scheduled for tonight. It's going to be the Highline Racing League having a doubleheader in the duels. It's going to be 2 streams, 2 races in the second stream at Daytona. And we're especially excited for that one. A lot of guys looking forward to starting their season on the right note there, as a guy like James Thurston looking to finish this season off on the right note in the same vein. A lot of tension going into what will be the first round of the triple headers for the remainder of the season, and rather the remainder of the World Tour in IORA, as we have Okayama, the Twin Ring, and the Red Bull Ring, as the World Tour will conclude with a finale at the Red Bull Ring. And there is a prize for those who get through, and it looks like Greg Kalhoff on his way. Chase Schaefer just coming out of pit road. Kalhoff back on the track. He's going to get it revved up once more. Sean Conklin on the way. Aiden Walker in a similar position. Robert Page there as well. Thurston Wilkerson, Mason Moriarty, Alex Anderson, and Alexander Balderas there as Braxton Whitaker puts himself on the move in the number 51 Chevy Camaro. And a beautiful machine that Braxton car is. We've seen a lot of different paint schemes for Whitaker this season, and it looks like returning to the original, or a variation of it, as the 51 gets it just a bit squirrely, and Sean Rowe going to push himself through, gets it a bit loose there. How we ride on board with the driver of the number 19 machine, as it looks to be getting his tires just a bit warmer, trying to get an advantage here in practice. Alexander Balderas in a similar position right now, going to be making through the final leg of this circuit. And getting it all the way to the inside, trying to eat the curves there with the left side, now going to be the right side tires. And he's very close there. You got to master these apexes if you want to be the fastest driver on the move here. And the next lap will be the one that counts to start this one off in qualifying. He knows it. Balderas going to come down the stripe this time through. It looks like laps are already being tabulated. And that time by, guys are going to be as quick as a 1:39 for River Page. Although that was not a lap that counted toward the qualifying order. Page, the fastest on the outlap, and James Thurston, just a bit behind him in terms of distance, might be able to catch up to him. He goes way wide, and he's going to lock it up all the way. That's going to be one lap down on his qualifying attempt. He's going to have one more to get this one done, and Page has had a lot of pace. Thurston has too. And Thurston losing a lot of opportunity there as River Page has been able to extend his gap. And while these gaps don't mean all too much, if you're able to keep it clean, you might just come out with a great qualifying spot. And perhaps pole position favorite James Thurston now wrecked it on his first lap. He still has one lap to do it as Chase Schaefer gets oh so close to the grass there, pushing it to the limit. And he's going to make his way into the second portion of the circuit. Greg Kalhoff on the move as well. And you can see the tire marks there from James Thurston. Looks like they're extending themselves as we go. And the DB Builders number 39 machine building a solid foundation to get its first time lap on the timing sheets. Alexander Blair is going to check back in on him as he looks to be going down through the second hairpin again. And it looks like the 95 machine able to keep it situated as the Adobe Creative Cloud machine comes through once again, gets it oh so close to the apex, not using the curbs that time by. Still a lot of opportunity to improve on the next one as these guys are going to come down for what will be their first timed lap in qualifying. Page goes all the way onto the curb, all four tires on it there. And for the driver of the 24 machine, first time lap in this session. And River Page will put it on the top of the board with a 1:34.307. Then Jacob Wilkerson with a 1:35. Aiden Walker only 0.2 of a second back. And Greg Kalhoff looking to be one of the next guys to get on it as Alexander Balderas now only within a second of your pole sitter. And looking to improve just a bit more. 1:34 is the time to beat right now. 1:35 is the most common time. And James Thurston not going to be able to set much into motion that time through. And the 96 machine back on his way, chasing greatness and pushing it all the way to the limit. Let's ride on board once again with James Thurston and see how it is inside the 96. You see a lot of minor corrections, trying to put the power down as fast as he can. Third gear, going to put it up to fourth gear and get it into fifth. Down one of the longest straightaways on this circuit and then barreling it into the hairpin here. And it is going to be a cambered corner, although it's going to be off camber there. And it's not going to send him the way he wants it to be, but the car is going to be able to handle it. Left and right turns especially common here at Okayama. And second gear through the entirety of this section that leads up to the final run to the start-finish line. And James Thurston is pushing as hard as he can. It looks like his average lap, he's about 2 seconds slower than a River Page. Going to come down the line this time through. He is going to spin it, and his second lap will be invalidated. Alexander Balderas now trying to make something happen as Page, best he can do is a 1:34. Can anyone be able to beat him? It looks like Aiden Walker going to come down the line this time by. And for the 93 machine, it will be a 1:33, top of the board, 786. And for James Thurston, he's going to come to the stripe that time by, trying to put it into motion. The 96 machine has come through, and now he is second on the board with a 1:34.224. Alexander Balderas done and done with a 1:34.893, 90 thousandths off the fourth spot in qualifying. And Chase Schaefer sends it to the top of the board with 1:33.091, unpredictable. And now Schaefer has a 0.6 of a second advantage in practice. Conklin looks to have put it into fifth. Greg Kalhoff coming around for his second final lap on the time and scoring charts. It's a 1:36. It puts him in eighth. As it stands, Mason Moriarty still on pit road here. Alex Anderson, similar position. However, he's through his second lap and trying to make it a bit more of a delicate one to get himself on the board. As Corey Lyles on the move himself in the Hooters number 56 machine. He's on to his second time lap. Last time by was a 1:43.2. Alex Anderson's was not even close to that. Last time by for the 67 was a 2:14 lap. And Corey Lyles in the 56, much quicker in his outlap. And now the second and final to determine where these guys are going to be on the board. For Alex Anderson, it looks like he'll get a 1:35 and put himself into the 8th spot on the chart. And Corey Lyles going to be the next man to put one on the board. And for the 56 machine, might be able to make something happen here. He's going to be the next guy, and it looks like one of the last guys to be able to put a timed lap down. Braxton Whitaker and Sean Rowe are used up when it comes to the two-time laps. They both used them, and they will not be able to put a time down according to timing and scoring. They will start at the back of the grid 11th, and now it looks like 12th and 13th respectively, as Lyles comes down to the stripe that time by, and for the 56, a 138 puts him in 10th. And Mason Moriarty looks to be the final driver eligible to put a lap down, but it looks like he will not do just that. So it looks like, pending any driver going out, it will be Chase Schaefer top of the board, and Schaefer 1:33.0, and that's going to be the fastest lap in the session so far. So how are you feeling, and where did that lap come out of? Because you're certainly one of the guys to beat so far according to practice and qualifying results.
Well, I'm hoping that this goes better than how Monza went a couple weeks ago when we went to the road course. Hoping that being in first place gives me a little bit more lets me be a little bit more calm, let things go my way for a little bit. But I'm confident. I think I can be consistent, not really make a whole lot of mistakes. I probably just jinxed myself out, but hey, it's whatever. But yeah, trying to make the most of our points. I think I'm about 9 points behind Thurston. 13 points behind Thurston, I think, in the World Tour Championship. 9 points behind in the actual championship. So we'll try and close that gap, and hopefully today goes well.
And with all this time remaining in the championship hunt, this is the second race. Points paying at the very least in the World Tour and the Quantum Quest, so maximizing opportunity. Name the game here, 29 laps. Our last road course only saw one caution. So what do you expect tonight here at Okayama?
No mistakes. Stay on the track. Less mistakes you make, the better. Because honestly, that's what it's going to come down to. Obviously, speed is crucial, but if you don't spin out, don't make any dumb mistakes, just run the track, then it'll all go well. I'm hoping so.
Absolutely 1 minute remaining here before we head to the grid. So any final thoughts before we get the show rolling here in Japan? Before we get into it, I'm going to ask one more thing. As a matter of fact, how do tires feel when it comes to the way the car drives? Is it very important going into this one?
Car's loose. It's loose the entire time. I did a little, I think it was about like the run of fuel earlier. It was a half distance run. I did 15 laps, and the tires just get hot. I mean, those rears are working. It's a slow track, so we'll definitely have to be careful about that. I'll definitely have to start thinking about how I want to manage the tires, as in the rears, but I'm not too concerned about it. There are definitely worse tracks where tires are a lot more crucial than here.
And there we have it. Strategy going to come down to tires, it appears, but it's going to be a balancing act. And for Chase Schaefer, able to balance it well here in qualifying. 15 seconds remain, and you will be our pole sitter for tonight's event. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
And there we have it. Chase Schaefer going to be top of the board here. Let's get to your grid for tonight's event. The starting grid for the first time, IORA heads to Japan, and we are in for a great show. And it looks like a field of 13 drivers ready to take on a road course. Once again, this is the IORA World Tour, and this is Okayama, round 17 of this championship, as drivers already get gridded into their positions. And we're going to get the grid camera on your screen. It is a standing start, so let's go through the starting grid real quick to make sure we're able to watch that standing start. Chase Schaefer, top of the board with a 1 minute 33.091, and Aiden Walker with a 133.786 in second. Then James Thurston with a 134 alongside River Page. Then fifth and sixth, Jacob Wickerson and Sean Conklin in the fifth spot. Wickerson going to be behind him. Then Alexander Badera seventh, Alex Anderson is in eighth, and Greg Kalhoff and Corey Lyles are the final drivers on timing and scoring. 9th and 10th to set a lap. Sean Rowe 11th, Mason Moriarty 12th, Braxton Whitaker in 13th, and Vincent Goechi in 14th. Round out what is now a 14-car field, and we wait for the final few drivers to head onto the track and get this show started in Okayama. The first time we've gone to this track with the Next Gens, and we are especially excited for what is now a 26-lap event, shortened by 3 laps. It was a 29-lap showdown scheduled, but it looks like now this standing start will bring us on to 26 laps of full send action. And the driver's already revving the engines up. Chase Schaefer going to be one of the guys to lead them through. And we are green here in Okayama. It's a standing start. And we got one car that stopped. Is Alexander Balderas. Everyone gets through. And Balderas almost causes a major pileup, and we are already underway. Chase Schaefer leads the field down, and Balderas gets very, very lucky. He was a stalled car on a standing start. That's a very dangerous position to be in, and I'm not sure what these guys are going to be able to say about that one. A very, very tough spot for a driver to be involved in. That Vista Guecci's going to almost go around there, able to save it, and Braxton Whitaker gets right by. Let's send it back with an instant replay on the matter, find out what's going on. Send it back about 20 seconds, actually send it back just a bit further, and check out the standing start from a closer angle. You can see Balderas is stopped, everyone has to swerve right around him. Whitaker almost hits him, and hits him does, and that gets the 95 machine in shape. Alexander Balderas misses the start there, and also close to an incident on the beginning of this race. Chase Schaefer still leads him clean as it stands. The driver of the number 99 machine has the edge over the remainder of the field so far. One lap in out of a total of 26, and we are already about halfway through this lap as they've made it through the hairpin and come down to find themselves oh so close to the start-finish line once again. All the fields have been able to make it through except for Sean Rowe. Rowe has a bit of an incident. Looks like it happened about 15 seconds back. Let's get an instant replay on the matter, find out what we can see from the driver of the 19, and find out we will, as it looks like Sean Rowe was just parked there. 19 is certainly involved with something, as it looks like Greg Kalhoff went off at about the same time there, and the wide angle shot showing that all these guys are still rolling. Chase Schaefer nonetheless leads him down 2 laps in out of 26, and Schaefer leads the first by a wide margin. James Thurston up to third, Aiden Walker still in second, and now it's going to be about a 4th position. Number 2, Aiden Walker defends on the inside line, and James Thurston goes up to the high side trying to make something happen. Walker now trying to hold on with all he's got. Let's go on board and see what he's going to have to do to hold on, because it looks like James Thurston right on his rear end here, and he's got a lot of competition behind him. Don't count out Sean Conklin. Conklin oh so close to the back end of this battle. The Aiden Walker machine rolling on strong, but the hairpin could be an opportunity to break in just a bit later. Perhaps set it in. James Thurston does break it in early. Now just a bit later, and Thurston will have to have a position lost. He's going to go way wide there. Now Conklin gets one up on him, and the 93 machine sees that they are fighting right behind them, and you want to see that when you're driving, trying to pull away from someone. Now the 96 and 54 fight one another, and the man of that 93 able to get away. Now to a Walker's run for the taking to get up to the leaders. Alex Anderson's going to have a big wiggle there. He's still going to be able to hold on. Corey Lyles there. Alexander Balderas now not in last, able to pass Braxton Whitaker and past Mason Moriarty. So it looks like Moriarty could come down pit road on his own accord and get back rolling. He's about a minute away from the lead lap guys here as Chase Schaefer coming down. He's going to be about 15 seconds out from lapping the driver already. Unbelievable, as Alexander Balderas is now pulled away from Braxton Whitaker with a decently wide margin here. And Whitaker getting it on the curb there, trying to push it to the limit to get back into that 12th spot, as Corey Lyle is going to bang it into the grass there. It's a single car incident right behind him. Balderas goes into the gravel trap, and he's going to be way out of the circuit. Gets back underway, though, and we don't have a caution. Still, all these guys able to hold on. Whitaker gets back in that 12th spot, and Balderas down into 13th. Mason Moriarty now 1 lap down as he goes on the grass once again. A hard race here for Moriarty, as the driver of the 6 machine not holding on all too well. 3 laps in another 26, and Chase Schaefer is coming up on him, and you'll see that he gets by him as we send it back to the live feed here. Schaefer is on a tear. And the 99 machine only has 1 driver to worry about right now. It is Aiden Walker. Walker trying to dive it in that time by Diamond Art the corner, get a better exit. And a better exit he will get, but not good enough to be able to make something happen on the driver of the 99 machine. Schaefer still holds on here, but don't count Walker out for even a minute here, because James Thurston going to keep the pressure on his back, and as a result, the 93 will continue to push as Conklin loses more and more time in the background. Aiden Walker is in second, but it is Chase Schaefer in the lead spot. Although now the gap is about a half a second at the very most, and it's going to extend just a bit coming out of corner. 3 in at a 26 here to the 93 machine. Still holds on. Just in front is Chase Schaefer. Looking at the back of the field, Corey Lau is going to go into the gravel trap. Once again, Braxton Whitaker going to try to pass him. That time through, they will come out side by side, and Alexander Balderas is going to try to conceal his line. And now the 95 goes side by side with the 56 and runs himself off the racing service. Going to try to push it, though. Now it's Lyles going down the inside of Whitaker. It's a 3-car battle here for the second to last spot on the circuit. 13th position here. And now it looks like Whitaker has the edge. Lyles sends it down to the inside line. Has to just a bit shake out of it. And Lyle's going to lose it just in front of Balderas. Slows the 95 machine all the way down and still blocks him through. Whitaker able to run away with this one as defense is being played by the driver of the 56 machine. And Alexander Balderas cannot be happy about this one. He's getting blocked hard by Lyles. He knows Lyles has something going on with the tires. So now it's going to be Balderas going just a bit wide, trying to take it through with an alternative strategy. 2 fast repairs for tonight's event. Although it looks like 4 laps in, nobody's had to use them. And Balderas dives down to the inside line, and Lyles is going to smoke the tires, but so is the 95 machine. And a crossover move in the back of the pack here. And Lyles watching to try to make something happen with an opportunity he's given. He gets down to the inside line once again, and now Whitaker's going to go around. They're both going to try to avoid him. Balderas does, and he spins himself out as a result. Caution flag is out 4 laps in. And that could have been much, much worse. And luckily it wasn't, of course. But Alexander Balderas avoiding a spinning Braxton Whitaker. And let's watch it wide once again. Whitaker, he's going to almost hit Balderas there, and actually that's not even a great angle of it, but the driver of the 95 machine certainly had to put the work in to avoid it. Lyles goes up high and Balderas goes down low, and the 95 machine gets really lucky. I actually think he might have gotten some damage. And we're going to try to look at it in front of the hood camera. The hood cam should give us all the information we need to know to see whether or not he did in fact hit the 51. And we see that Lyles able to make it out. And I don't think he hit him on the front end or the rear end, so he spins himself out as a result, a byproduct of avoiding the wreck. And what a move that was. Alexander Balderas able to avoid a much worse circumstance. And how we dial him up here in the broadcast booth and see how he's feeling as he's already drifting around under yellow, trying to get caught back up with the field. And let's get an interview with the driver of Alexander Balderas, see how he's feeling so far. 5 laps in out of 26 for Alexander Balderas, the 95 machine. You spun yourself out there, but you're able to avoid a much worse circumstance. So how do you feel about the car almost a quarter of the way into this one?
Well, she's quite loose. I will not lie. The brakes are very touchy, like very touchy, more than, you know, the normal next-gen antics. But the battle for last was really great. It was really a lot of fun. You know, us moving around and stuff. I didn't expect it to throw the yellow, but when Braxton spun, you know, I need a change of underwear now. But hey, we don't have, at least we don't think we have damage on the car. But other than that, it was a great avoidance, and I did a cool 360 for the fans.
And still a lot of time to recover and gain some more position. We saw you got a decent run in qualifying there, also close to the top 5 on the board. So how do you feel when it comes to the long run? Are you going to be able to make some time back up on these guys and perhaps contend for a higher spot in the rankings here?
Well, I'm usually the guy who avoids all the wrecks and who just gets spots because people wrecked and, you know, just naturally go up the board. So hopefully I'm, you know, hoping for at least like a top 6, maybe. I am shooting for it, but if I get 8th, I'm fine. I really didn't come in here with much hope. So if I come out of here alive, that's going to be much greater than when I started.
And how about that? Everyone going to be able to get bunched up right there. You're right behind a good majority of the field now. When it comes down to pit road, will you be coming in for a set of tires? And how do the tires feel after a multitude of wreck avoidances and a little bit of time in the gravel?
I'm most likely going to pit for 4. Maybe repair a little bit of damage because I think there's a tiny bit on the right front after I smack a wall. But I think overall they're not too bad. Just the next gen's like loose, and then if you touch the brakes too hard, it just goes straight. And then if you do lock the brakes, you basically like just oh, okay, that's interesting. Sorry, they just cut right in front of me. If you lock the brakes, it's really hard to unlock them. That's what happened with Braxton originally. But, you know, take a set of 4, start at the back, and see what happens on the start.
We have it coming down pit road. Any final thoughts before we head back to the live feed here?
You know, it's going to be interesting. But hopefully everyone can contain themselves this time, and hopefully we don't die.
And there we have it. Alexander Balderas pitting for 4 here, trying to get some spots back after a series of incidents, and he's able to avoid them. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem.
And Alexander Balderas down on pit road. Your race leader, however, is far from there. It's Chase Schaefer, and we already have just about 20 laps to go next time by. 1 lap to green. The pace truck's lights are already off, so when the field gets caught back up, we will go back to green as soon as possible. Mason Moriarty looks to be the winner off pit road, and it's going to be followed by the James Thurston machine. Although Moriarty does absolutely need to get a lap back here, and that he will. He's going to get real loose, almost hit some lead lap guys. Nonetheless, we are still 1 to green. They will not be extending it appears, for the Moriarty machine. Now Mason's going to have to earn that one back and keep himself on it. And if we do have a caution, he'll be able to get bunched back up. He's on the lead lap right now, but he's pretty far off of the start-finish line. And most likely, he will not be there with these guys when they head to it. As Chase Schaefer leads Aiden Walker, River Page, Sean Conklin, and Vince Guecci, as we have just about half a lap remaining before we get back to the action. 6 laps in out of 26. And these laps have been flying by. These guys are especially fast, and it looks like 2 guys already. Now 3 guys have set laps within the 133 range. Chase Schaefer, your leader, Aiden Walker in second, and the fastest driver in this race so far, coming in with a 1 minute 33.38. And that's going to be James Thurston. He's down in 8th here. And it looks like he came down pit road trying to make something happen, an alternate strategy, maybe some faster tires because they're newer tires. And try that out this time by. Is everyone coming back up front with the field here? Mason Moriarty still trying to catch up. As next time by, he should be able to come down to the stripe and maybe reach these guys. Hampton Excavating, number 6 machine, has still a load of time. He's about 45 seconds away from the lead pack. Although these caution laps are about 3 minutes long, it's still possible. But it's going to be a slim chance if he gets back this time by. Next time through might just be a better opportunity for Mason to get back into the winning hunt. Had a great run in qualifying, a bit higher than we expected there. The pace came in on qualifying. We'll see whether or not he's able to hold on in the race. It looks like something happened very early on. Came down pit road on his own accord. Got put a lap down as a byproduct of that decision. And Alexander Badair now catching back up to the field this time through. And it looks like out of the drivers in this field, Corey Lyles is the only driver to have taken a fast repair. Sean Rowe already appears to be 1 lap down, however. Looks like something has happened to the 19. Not a good thing, as he's now going to be down in the 14th spot. The drivers enter the hairpin, second as a matter of fact, and get set to go back green once again here in Okayama. 6 laps in under 26. Next time by, it'll be 20 laps to go here in Japan, as River Page going to cut that little segment of the track. The pace car already in, and we will head back to green following this turn. It's Schaefer leading over Aiden Walker as they come down to the stripe, entering the second and final DRS zone. We will be heading back to the green. This is your first restart of the night, and we are going to get it started now. Green flag back in the air, led by the 99 to 93. Everyone shovels, and now we head into turn 1 once more. And as everything and everyone gets situated here, Schaefer leads over Walker and Page. Side by side in the back, it's Thurston and Lyles, almost contact. They're able to hold on, however, and now things are getting intense in the middle of the field here. 20 laps remain, and we are getting closer and closer to halfway already. 7 in, a quarter through, and Schaefer now trying to break the draft with the guys chasing him, including Walker and River Page. Sean Conklin in the mix as well as enter the first hairpin. And the Monster Designs number 99 machine able to hold on that time through. Looks like everyone able to make it there. Corey Lyles losing some time getting it into the gravel, it looks like. And he is on the edge here. There's going to be a pass made right in front of him. James Thurston tries to put it through. Balderas around. And the 95 goes through. Single car incident. Everyone's going to be able to keep rolling. And the 95 heads himself back to the rear of the field. Sean Rowe, 1 down, going to be able to pass him there. And it looks like Balderas now going to be the last driver on the track here. Rowe going to be able to get by him. Well, it's not for a position. Certainly bad news for Balderas. The 95 machine down in 13th as Chase Schaefer leads the way still. 7 laps in, out of 26 becomes 8 laps now, and 19 remain for the 99. Aiden Walker now about a second back on your race lead, and River Page is in the 3rd spot with Sean Conklin in 4th, and Alex Anderson and James Thurston having an intense battle here. How we ride on board with the driver to the 67. Anderson losing a bit of time that time through. James Thurston able to pull away now and Thurston having a much better exit, able to pull himself into the hairpin with a much faster entry. It looks like that time by about 15 miles an hour faster heading in, as Chase Schaefer, still the fastest man in all. Aiden Walker not able to hold on to it. The gap is still solid and healthy at about a second's worth between your top two drivers. River Page is in third, and Sean Conklin is in position number 4. James Thurston in 5th, and Alex Anderson in 6th here, with Vincent Guecci now in 7th. As Alex Anderson puts himself in P6, Jacob Wilkerson behind Guecci into the 8th spot, and Mason Moriarty going to be able to make a pass there on Braxton Whitaker as we see the grass marks from Alexander Balderas. As it looks like Greg Kalhoff going to be falling through the field there, and gets it back on his way, gets it 360'd, and he is already moving, and it looks like no caution for that one, nobody affected, as Alexander Balderas gets slowly but surely closer to the Sean Rowe machine. He tries to make it wide to get a better exit off of the turn. Rowe still able to beat him out that time through. In the 95, think of an alternative solution to keep himself in the mix, trying to keep himself relevant in the fight here. That's going to be a challenge as he's in 13th position right now. He might just need yet another caution to even gain a position on the lead lap now. It's a 13 machine fighting the only lap car in this race, and that is Rowe. Rowe right now is winning that fight. The Balderas machine is holding on strong, though, keeping up with the tail end of the draft. Caution flag is out, and it is for Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson seems to have a load of damage here. And we're going to find out what happened there, because it looks like the caution comes out for him. He loses the most time through this segment of the course. Let's find out what happened to the driver of the 058. And he gets it all the way into the inside, pushes it into the wall, and they think he broke a suspension part, I believe. Well, he gets it back underway immediately. That brings out the yellow Jacob Wilkerson. Caution number 2, and we are back under pacing. And Jacob definitely had a hard hit there, but it looks like car's still going quite strong. I'm not sure if that was just a misjudgment, because I'm certainly sure that he's able to hold on to it. That driver is still pushing hard. Nonetheless, Chase Schaefer leads over Aiden Walker here and River Page. And we'll see whether or not the leaders come down on pit road this time by. They could choose to make it happen. And we'll see whether or not they have that option. The 99 machine going to see whether or not they're open on pit road, and if they are, might take the lead of the field down there. Although that time by, no, they will not go. The top 3 guys still holding on, trying to chase down the pace car here. As it looks like the pace car is going to be pretty far ahead of these guys so far. The pace car coming out from that start-finish line, they are slowly but surely making their way up to it. As Corey Lyle is still on the move. Jacob Wilkerson able to mitigate the losses. And it looks like, well, the 58 machine absolutely had a hard hit. He's able to hold on, and the 58 Beckman Designs machine, as if there's no damage to it, is still fighting another day. Last time lap was a 43. 1 minute 43 to be exact. As Chase Schaefer and the remainder of the field catches up to the pace car, and Vincent Guecci almost slams into someone there. And everyone getting resituated. The guys coming from the back of the pack had it in full throttle, and now they're backing it down just a bit with 17 laps remaining, making sure they don't hit the guys in front of them. Doing that would be a detrimental action. As still, Chase Schaefer leads from Aiden Walker, River Page, and Sean Conklin, as a few guys put into the grass to try to heal their tires and cool them back down. I'm not sure how the admins are going to be able to take to that, as it looks like a good majority of the field going to make that choice. And everyone in the top half of the field, the top 5 to say the least, besides your leader of Chase Schaefer, going to try it out, as they all try to get an advantage here on tires, a risky move. Nonetheless, they all go in there on purpose, trying to make something happen with the tires. We'll see whether or not that works out as the race goes on. As it stands, the whole field is back together again, and the driver of the 23 machine is in the 3rd spot. River Page, 3rd right now, almost halfway through the race. How do you feel going into the remainder of it?
Yeah, I feel good. I'm not this competitive at road courses in this group, so feels pretty good. The car drives great. It's a fun track. Having a good time. Pretty even with Walker and Conklin, so I don't think I'm gonna win. I don't think I'm gonna get a top 3, but it's gonna be a fun race, and yeah, I'm enjoying it.
And absolutely, we've been able to see you fight up front throughout the entirety of this race, in the 3rd spot right now. So how's it been fighting up front? Because it looks like you guys have been the cleanest bunch all race long.
Oh yeah, definitely. The racing's always good here, especially on road courses. These guys are pretty talented, so It's been good. Like I said, this track's surprisingly enjoyable with this car, and oh my god, and yes, it's been fun. The battles are really good. You know, just a great track.
Looks like a few drivers are going to go down pit road. That time by the top 3 not going to be part of that group. How's the car feeling 10 laps into this stint as we are almost halfway on that run? So any differences compared to when you started?
Not really. I think I last lap I set my fastest lap ever. So the tires never really get bad on road courses. This car is kind of weird. They don't really wear that much, so I'm not worried about tires, and we got enough fuel, so I don't think I'll pit unless I just completely lock up the brakes really bad on this next run or so.
And still out front here. So any final thoughts before we get back to the action? As it looks like 16 remaining, and you're still scored in the 3rd spot.
No, that's so. Thank you.
And there we have it, River Page in the 3rd spot right now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And we're going to drag him back into his voice chat there. The 24 machine on the move, but Chase Schaefer still indomitable in this race so far. The 99 machine leading 11 laps in out of 26, and nobody able to hold on to him. So far, it looks like it's his race to lose. We'll see whether or not he's able to hold on to it till the end. He could still lose it. Could make a mistake. We've seen a lot of these guys make mistakes beforehand when it looks like they have a race locked up. Chase Schaefer, we know that he's human. He's only human. We'll see whether or not he's able to hold on, but right now he has been the fastest man all race, has broken through the 1 minute and 30 second barrier. Fastest lap is a 1 minute 32.793. So certainly a lot of potential for the driver of the 99 machine to make it happen here in Okayama, as very few drivers have gotten as quick as he has, let alone keeping it that consistent. And River Page saying his fastest lap came the last green flag lap, so cautions have not impacted the tire strategy all too much for some of these guys. Some guys have locked it up, and they do need a new set as a result. But if you haven't locked it up, there seems to be very little purpose in pitting and getting a new set for your car. Chase Schaefer leads over Aiden Walker, River Page, and Sean Conklin with James Thurston in 4th, and now going to be scored as the 5th position driver. As it looks like that is where he stands. Sean Conklin side by side with Page and Aiden Walker. Once again, double file with the man in the 99 machine, and that is Chase Schaefer. The Monster Designs number 99 putting on a great show so far, as the remainder of the field still getting caught back up. It looks like all 14 drivers are on the lead lap now, as Sean Rowe catches up as we speak to Greg Kalhoff. No retirees in this race so far. Only a few drivers have been able to take or have had the need to take one fast repair. Still one available to them after the fact. But as we come down to about the halfway point, I don't believe these guys will have a reason to use fast repairs much longer if there's a reason to use them in the beginning. The 99, right beside the 93. John Conklin, River Page, James Thurston, and Vincent Guecci now in the top 6 here. And he's got an opportunity to make something happen, make some noise. The driver of the 09 machine could. And we've seen him up front time after time here to close one out on a road course. And everyone, it's been a challenge for them to hold on to it on the road course, but Chase Schaefer seems to be leading the way with ease as the 99 takes them down to the start-finish line once again. It's Schaefer, it's Walker, and they are the front row once more as we head into our second restart of the night. The pace car is already off, and we will go green for restart number 2. Now they're already rolling off, and we have headed back to the show. 15 laps remaining here in Okayama. And everyone able to hold on right now. Looks like Jacob Wilkerson going to turn one, going to turn multiple. Big incident. Braxton Whitaker around. Yellow flag already out. And with 15 to go, the yellow flag comes out. We didn't even make it a turn. And let's look at that one again. Take it back to the instant replay. And it looks like Jacob Wilkerson able to make a big dive. Hits Whitaker, which hits Corey Lyles and takes a multitude of guys out. Vincent Guecci goes out at the same time. Greg Kalhoff tags Mason Moriarty. And they all get back into one another. The lead guys are already turns away from it. And we are back under green as if nothing happened. And we're going to head back to the show. The 99 still leads the 93, the 54, and the 24. 15 laps remain here in Okayama. And yet another will be ran under the yellow flag condition. As yet another incident involving multiple cars, this time by immediately putting the green flag showdown to a halt. But Chase Schaefer is still leading the way right now by 3 seconds, of course, an inflated margin because not a lot of guys are pushing to get back to the pace car. He still had a dominating grip on this race as he's the only driver muted in voice chat. And he looks like he's maximizing his concentration, making sure that he can concentrate to the fullest. Needs to be the key for victory for the man in that number 99 Monster Designs machine and nobody else on his level so far. We'll see if these guys choose to pit. Aiden Walker is in second, and Sean Conklin now looks to be in the third position. And how we drag the driver of the 54 machine in as soon as they get back to the pace car. And Chase Schaefer trying to do that as fast as possible. He's oh so close to getting there as they still are a wide margin away from where the pace car could be. And that seems to be the consequence of having a caution as soon as you guys go green. And when that happens, you're going to have the pace car pretty far away from you here at a road course, especially so as Schaefer has made his way in. Aiden Walker going to be the next group. Sean Conklin, and they are barreling in here as they are a little bit further out, and they are going to much proceed past that pace truck. And a little bit of a bump up there. River Page with Alexander Balderas, and they make contact once again. Balderas up to fifth here, as Sean Conklin is in third, and the driver of that 54 machine has been able to make his way up quite a long distance. And Sean Conklin now in third here with 14 laps to go. How do you feel about the car, and how do you feel about going into the second half of this race?
I don't know. I haven't been able to really get good speed out of it during practice qualifying, and here they just kind of drive away after a while. So I don't know. I mean, I can't really do much more. I'm on a, like, giant wheel, and it's really hard to, like, turn, if that makes any sense. Like, a giant wheel in real life. So, it kind of makes road course racing difficult. So, this isn't really good, especially since half of the playoffs is road courses. So, hopefully I get my new one in time. But, besides that, I just gonna hope someone wrecks, something happens, or someone happens to the leader, or a leader pits, and I can stay out, and hopefully the tires will last. I don't know. We're just gonna hope for something. I'm just gonna keep riding around. That's all I can do.
And as it stands, you are in the third spot on the board here. A caution once again. Guys getting grouped up back and forth. So how's it gonna be with cautions impacting your strategy?
The cautions gives me more of a chance for something to happen, so I can try to make a move or something, get another spot, and just stay with them for a short period of time. But as much as the cautions are helpful, they are really annoying with how long they are. Like, this is absurd. Like, it's just, track is just so big. It's just, cautions take forever.
And certainly a long caution as it looks like the leader's not going down pit road once again. So when it comes down to the remainder of this race, we might see some more cautions. What would be the optimal circumstances for you to keep it up front?
Just stay out of the trouble that I wish on. Like, I just need trouble to happen in front of me and stay out of it. That's it.
Here we have it. Sean Conklin hoping to avoid trouble here with 14 laps to go. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
You're going to drag Conklin back. Does not seem to be too confident in the car here with now 13 remaining. We are once again under a period of yellow flag racing. Well, it's not too much racing. They are under the yellow, waiting to get back onto the pace of the racing. Alexander Balderas has made his way up into the 5th position. How about that for the driver of the 95 machine? Sean Conklin there, River Page, Aiden Walker, and a multitude of these guys we have not seen all too much up front. As Conklin going to slide up into now, it looks like the spot right behind Aiden Walker. Alexander Balderas still there with Greg Kalhoff. Jacob Wilkerson still there with Alex Anderson. And it looks like the back row of the grid is still intact. James Thurston will be in the 14th spot. He'll be able to catch up to the leaders here. As Vince Guecci there with Mason Moriarty. They are 12th and 13th with Thurston now riding in last. 13 laps remaining. No mistakes have been made by the driver of the 99 machine, Chase Schaefer, on a tear. And the 99 has been pushing as hard as he can to make it happen lap after lap. Nobody seems to be quicker we're already halfway through at Okayama. And as we head into the final segment of this race, the first half is over. If you enjoyed the action, be sure to like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated, as these guys are putting on a great show despite the circumstances. Not a lot of guys compared to usual here, but it looks like these guys are still pushing on quite strong. Sean Rowe having some internet issues, as Aiden Walker and Sean Conklin pushing each other into the hairpin here. And they're going to let off and slowly but surely wait for the pace truck to get back to them, as Schaefer gains in on the lead pack once again. This time by, it will be a 12-lap dash to the finish. And we'll see whether or not these guys are capable of making something work. As with 13 remaining, it's Schaefer, Walker, Conklin, and River Page. Alexander Valderas in 5th and Greg Kalhoff in 6th. Jacob Wilkerson is in 7th right now. He's been able to make his way back up into the middle of the pack. Greg Kalhoff there as well, able to get through maybe one of the winners off pit road when it comes down to strategy. And he's yet to use its faster bear, so still has a lot of opportunity to make some mistakes. Room for improvement, room to learn, the driver of the 39 machine, and we'll see whether or not he's capable of doing so, because right now stuck in the middle of a pack that's been very, very intense, very aggressive, and at times very chaotic. We'll see whether or not they're able to hold on, as Chase Schaefer there with Aiden Walker on the front row. They've been in the front row all race along, and nobody appears to be able to stop them. We will see what happens through the first turn this time by. Will we see a wreck, or will we see another spread out run? We're going to find out as we head back for a third restart of the night. And the same front two are going to put us back to the green flag. And we're going to watch it from a bit of a different angle there for just a moment. With a green flag is out for the third restart of the night. And Chase Schaefer going to be able to lead them through with Aiden Walker right beside him. And Walker gets a big squirrel there. It's going to be Chase Schaefer going to push as well, and everyone rolls down in. And Greg Kalhoff sent it down to the inside line, trying to make something happen, able to hold it on. And it looks like no wreck just yet. Everyone is going to be able to make it through. Walker now your leader, and Chase Schaefer now behind him. And it looks like Chase Schaefer not getting a better start compared to the rider in that 93 machine. And now it's up to Schaefer to try to make something happen down to the inside line. He will go. Get back on the 93 as Walker goes all the way up to the high side, able to make a move there, get a much harder exit. And now they're going to be bumper to bumper. The 93 machine trying to hold on to Chase Schaefer as he is riding right behind your new race leader. And down to the inside, it's all about out-braking here. Aiden Walker going to send it in deep. And now he's up front. Chase Schaefer right behind him. And he is pushing as hard as he can. River Page in third here. This battle getting closer and closer, and Schaefer now facing the first amount of pressure we've seen all race long. Sean Conklin, single car incident, going to go around. Alexander Valderas able to save it there, and these two are still fighting hard now, making a three-car battle. River Page has joined the fray here, as Alexander's going to try to shuffle through, as Alexander Valderas holding up not one but two guys, and Valderas is going to be able to drift it around to the 360. Valderas does not save it, and now he's going to be parked on track. Greg Kalhoff going to hit him. And we stay green, but Valderas loses a lot of time because of that one. And he is parked, and he's not moved just an inch. As you can see, he's blocking James Thurston there, and he blocks him just a bit too hard, and he's gone from that point. And from there, Greg Kalhoff going to hit him. Not good at all. Valderas gets it back underway. It looks like he just got it back underway, as a matter of fact. And Aiden Walker still leading from Chase Schaefer now. 11 laps to go, and Walker gets into the dirt big time. A big mistake there. And now Schaefer looking to capitalize to go down once again. Make something happen here. One of the longest turns on the circuit. And Walker is still leading, but a big mistake there. And now Schaefer knows he has a chance. 11 remain here. And it is still held on by the driver to the 93. It looks like as soon as he got out front, he's been able to hold on to it. Schaefer going to have to break deep to make anything happen, although it looks like he's going to consolidate his line and not push it all too hard during the second hairpin. And Chase Schaefer right behind your race leader. What a battle we've seen so far, as these two have been pushing it to the limit, with River Page chasing them, and Page able to say to himself he's going to be able to pick up the scraps if they wreck, and that's a great feeling to have, knowing that even if something happens, you'll be able to capitalize from it. And Page keeping a fine distance here, as Chase Schaefer tries to lead this lap, although Walker still defending like a lion here. And nothing for Chase Shaver to do so far, but wait and see if Walker makes a mistake. As coming down on the front straightaway, it's all about seeing when these guys make their moves and when they're not able to. As 11 laps to go, is we going to come to 10 laps remaining. And with 10 to go, we're going to take it to a quick crank it up for track cams for Gormans. TrackCams22.com, the best cameras on iRacing. And since this race had a bit less than the usual, we can't do the 22 to go crank it up. So we'll do it with 10 laps to go. Let's crank it up uninterrupted with the best cameras on this service. We hope you enjoy.
The yellow flag is out.
The caution is out, and that ends our crank it up. Braxton Wigger goes around, and so does Mason Moriarty. So let's find out what happened here as we set up for the final stretch of this race. Whitaker, Moriarty, and that's going to be a two-car incident, although it looks like a combination of two single-car incidents. Let's take a quick look and see what's going on for the driver of the 51 machine. And by this point, he's already backed around, and Mason Moriarty going to come through, and this is where it happens. Moriarty already spun as well, so let's take it back just a bit more and see what happened. As Braxton Whitaker going to lock it up, put himself in the gravel. And as he's around, Mason Moriarty comes in, and Corey Lyles almost hits Braxton Whitaker, and Moriarty goes around as he tries to avoid that incident. Not going to work out, and he is going to be in a world of trouble himself. Not good. Round 17 from Okayama, not the best for Mason Moriarty so far, as he's down in the 11th position. Chase Schaefer still leads over the remainder of the field here, and nobody on his level so far. 19 laps in out of 26, and it will become 6 laps to go by the time we go green, if not 5, as we are 8 remaining, and next time through will be 7 laps to go. Schaefer has led almost every one of these laps. River Page, John Conklin, Aiden Walker, they got close. but they have not been able to hold on to the dominance of the man in that 99. He has had them at a stranglehold so far in this race. And the 99 machine coming down to the stripe there. The top 4 guys in frame. Now the top 5. Alex Anderson still there in shot. But it is all coming down to these 3 up front. It is Schaefer, Walker, and River Page. And they are all in frame once again. And as close as these guys have been all race long, we've seen them even closer than this. We'll see if they're not able to keep it this close. It has been very, very hard for every one of them to keep it so close. The competition very, very, very close between them all. Once again, the distance not far. The lap times very similar. And now it comes down to how they handle the rest of this race. It will be a sprint back to the checkers. And one driver we have not checked in on all too much. How about the 67 machine of Alex Anderson? He's in the 5th spot right now. And how about we take a look at the man in that top 5 position? And he's just winning it right now as he's got one driver right beside him. Alex Anderson, 5th on the board right now. How do you feel?
I feel okay, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Sean Rowe, either he slammed the brakes for some reason or he just disconnected. And I am on, I think, the freshest tires up here. I know it's not gonna help at all because these guys in front of me are wicked fast. So I'm just hoping for a top 5 here, just try and salvage some points and move on. Just try and salvage some points and move on to Twin Ring.
And looking for Twin Ring, already been a decent race for you so far, able to keep it in the higher segment of the pack. And we've seen you involved with a lot of chaos. Got almost involved with Alexander Balearis as you were blocking James Thurston when you guys were side by side, and the back of the pack being chaotic as well. So how's it been avoiding the incidents and managing your cars? It looks like you're still on your first car, no fast repairs used.
Yeah, the only time I've been in the pits was to take tires, just in case it helped. I don't think it matters too much, but rather be safe than sorry with my driving skill. But the one with Throttle and Thurston, I mean, I don't want to pin all of it on Thurston, but like he could have 100% lifted. I know Throttle isn't the fastest in these hairpins, but Thurston definitely could have checked up a little bit for him. So I mean, that's just my take on that. And then the wreck that Mason caused going in turn 1, I mean, he gave us a full description of that. He tried to go to the inside. He didn't like Braxton being in front of him in the turn 1, so he said, I'm going to go to the inside. Braked when Braxton did the thing, locked up and killed like 9 cars, and somehow I got through that. So I'm just hanging out right now, just trying to salvage a win, and or not a win, because I know that's not going to happen unless everybody in front of me dies. So I'm just up here trying to salvage this race for what it's worth and just try and get a decent finish.
And looking for that decent finish when it comes down to getting up front and keeping it in contention. Do you think there's even a shot when it comes to getting a win?
Like I said, unless everybody in front of me and Conklin wreck, that's not gonna happen. These guys are way too fast for my driving skill. So like I've been mentioning, just trying to maintain a decent finish here, and I just want to come out of this with a clean car and maybe a top 5 if we're good.
And that's all possible here with 1 lap to green. Any final thoughts before we head back to the show?
No, just try and keep the car clean. That's about it, and just hope, pray to God that I don't die.
And there we have it, Alex Anderson of the 67 machine running strong right now in 5th. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Going to drag him back into his voice chat with 6 laps remaining. This could be the final run to the checkers, although we are not certain of that fact. And as we have just a bit of time, we're going to run down the guys in this field. Chase Schaefer has been the dominating force in this one all race long. Doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where on track. Nobody has been as quick as the man in that number 99 machine, and that is for certain. If anyone wants to keep up with the front of the field, they're going to want to keep up with the man in Chase Schaefer's shoes. And of course, it's himself, as that 99 car has been moving faster than any other, except for now, James Thurston. Thurston has the fastest lap recorded in this session by 70 thousandths of a second. A total of a 1 minute 32.722 compared to a 1 minute 32.793. An absolutely close margin for these guys up front. Thurston and Schaefer, some of the fastest guys in this field. Aiden Walker, River Page, Sean Conklin still in contention. And these top 5, top 6 guys all have an opportunity, all have a case to get to victory lane. And we'll see whether or not they're able to honor that case. It's all possible. As with 6 remaining, the pace car and the pace truck are going to be able to go off one more time. And if we don't have an incident, we could be able to go all the way from here on out. It's all possible with only a few minutes and a few laps remaining, as long as these guys are able to hold on and keep it on the racing surface. In a few cautions so far, this is the fourth of which, and it could be the last for James Thurston, one of the guys still holding on as hard as he can. And we will see whether or not his efforts are going to be able to hold on and make him the race winner. Chase Schaefer has had a dominating run all race long. Nobody quicker. Aiden Walker in that second spot. James Thurston in fourth, with River Page in third. Anyone's race and anyone's guess as to who's going to win this race. We will see what they have in store for one another. The 99 still being led across the field by the pace truck as the 99 leads the 93. And these front row two, they have been up front no matter when, no matter where on this track. They just about been the top two, even if it's been in a different order for just a small amount of time. These two are the ones to watch. It's Walker on the outside and James Thurston pushing Chase Schaefer on the inside. 6 laps remaining here. This could be it. Down to the stripe, 6 will become 5 laps to go. The final stretch here at Okayama, and Chase Schaefer going to be able to lead him off in style. 6 laps, it will become the final 5. Here we go once again. Green flags out of Okayama. This could be it. Whitaker gets it way out of sorts, and Thurston goes down on the outside as they are 3 wide for the lead, and James Thurston able to take him for now, but it's going to be a risk worth taking for him. We'll see if Chase Schaefer able to battle back on the inside, and that he is not. James Thurston is your new race leader for only a short period of time. Schaefer back out front. And now the battle for the lead has become the battle for second, a big-time battle. Schaefer saw that Thurston got inside of the racing surface, got on the grass, and now he's all the way up on the high side of the track. And Chase Schaefer back out front once again. Aiden Walker is in second, and he's trying to hold on to everything he's got. James Thurston is in third. And the remainder of the field still seems to be in a single file bunch. Nobody's in an incident. Whitaker loses a lot of time, but he's in a single car zone. And Alexander Balearis in the back of the back facing traffic here. It looks like everyone able to hold on, even if they do go double file through the hairpin. And Chase leading by now about half a second here over the remainder of this pack. And holding on quite nicely as Aiden Walker is in second. River Page in third. James Thurston now down in fourth, trying to get through a few more guys to get up into the podium places. And he's going to almost tap Page there. He's going to be able to make a move there. Gets down to the quarter panel, taps him up just a bit as a matter of fact. And now the 96 goes up to third. And these guys are fighting for the final podium spot like it is a victory. Every point matters in the championship hunt. And we're going to pull up the standings right here, right now. It's been 5 laps, making it 4 laps to go. Chase Schaefer needs a race like this as Jacob Wilkerson goes around. Caution is not out. However, Schaefer knows this race could be crucial to his championship chances. He needs to get back out front in this hunt and quick. These are the guys eligible for the championship hunt. All 12 of them, like Raquel Menace, not in this race tonight, but a good majority of these guys are still holding on to a chance in the battle for the title. 23 laps in, a good majority of the field still holding on as we are back under yellow. Chase Schaefer, 5th in points coming into this one. As a matter of fact, going to be up to 3rd in points coming into this one. Now, looking to make something happen and rise up to 1st. Yellow flag is out, and let's find out why. Yeah, it looks like Sean Conklin involved in this. We're going to take it back just a bit more and find out what's the cause of this incident. It looks like a multi-car one as Sean Conklin goes into the gravel on his own accord, comes back up the track. And Greg Kalhoff, it looked like he was involved in this as well. Vincent Guecci there, he's going to spin once again. Almost tags Balderas, and Greg Kalhoff does indeed get a piece of that. And we are headed into overtime here in Japan. How about it? And this race has gotten even more intense. The man in the 99 has led a good majority of it. And as we have just a bit of time before the show gets back on the road, we're going to send it to a brief Fireball Talks nonstop, because this race is getting more and more intense, and we're going to have to thank the guys, all the associates and partners we have going into the next segment of this season. We're going to thank them because they're the reason we are able to go week after week, as well as the fans. So if you enjoy the race, be sure to like and subscribe. The support's always greatly appreciated, and we will be right back.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
Back to the action here, getting back in shape. The drivers of the IORA Cup Series now will have 2 green flag laps to get back to the action. Once again, 3 to go so far. We'll have 1 more pacing lap, and then we will get on with the show. And Chase Schaefer leads it over River Page, and Alexander Balderas is down to the back of the field, but Aiden Walker is in second here as we have 1 more lap under caution before we head to the final 2-lap showdown. If we get through that first lap, we will go all the way. The white flag will be out, and the next flag will end it. The show will be over from Japan, and it's been an intense race so far as Chase Schaefer going to go right in front of the pace truck that time through, and still looks like we have 1 lap to go before we get back into the action. Aiden Walker on the grass there. Chase Schaefer still holding off in that race lead. And 3 laps to go. The 99 machine is representing the Monster Designs brand quite well, leading almost every lap in this race. And nobody on his level so far. Aiden Walker, he's been close. He has had the lead, as a matter of fact, but he just has not been able to hold on to that for much longer than a few laps. Chase Schaefer, however, has had a dominant stranglehold over that lead, and nobody able to take that away from him thus far. And still 2 laps, a lot of opportunity for a mistake. So if Chase Schaefer does mess up, someone else could get this victory. But he's certainly been able to lock away a lot of bonus points on the night, even if he doesn't come home with the win. So a lot of points being salvaged in the championship hunt for the 99 machine. Walker, who's in the 2nd spot in that championship hunt, now looks to be in a little bit of a jeopardy here. 2nd in the race, as a matter of fact, and he has had a great run in the championship spots so far. But now he's looking to get some wins. Winning is above everything in these playoffs. And if you're not able to win, you won't be able to have a great run for the title. That is for certain. One's going to go around, it looks like. And that might be Alexander Balderas. It looks like it actually might be Braxton Whitaker not coming up the hill. It looks like a few guys getting obscured there. As Chase Schaefer still above Aiden Walker, with which what will be a green white checkered, the first overtime event, an overtime attempt in this race. The 99 machine has faced a lot of pressure in this season. He's gotten 2 wins so far, both of which at short tracks, and he's been able to overcome the adversity that he has been thrown at him. And he knows that when it's thrown at him, he's still able to put together a great race, and we've seen it time and time again now. He's looking to get that third victory when it matters the most. Not the best Monza for him, able to salvage quite a few points, but he's looking for the perfect race. And tonight, he just might be able to have it in his hands. The 99 has held on for almost every lap of this race, but Aiden Walker has been on the outside of that front row every restart we've had, no matter when we've had at the beginning of the race, the middle of the race, the end of this race. And these two guys up front, nobody on their level, no matter when we've seen them. We will see if they're able to hold on. Green flag is out here at Okayama. The 2-lap restart is underway. Green, white, checkered, and the show's back on the road. Everyone going intense. Thurston takes the 3 for second. And everyone able to make it through that time by. Chase Schaefer still going to be able to lead the field through, and it looks like he still has the advantage over the guys up front and the guys behind him, as it's still going to be second, James Thurston in third, Aiden Walker in fourth. And the guys in the back of the pack are slowly but surely dissipating from the view. Second pack is fighting, but they're pretty much far out of winning contention. Far a miracle, as Schaefer, with 2 laps to go, now being chased down by River Page. James Thurston is in third, and Aiden Walker is in fourth, with Alex Anderson in fifth now. And Schaefer has a lot of pressure. He's going to want to hold on to this one. Page down to the inside line. He's going to tap Schaefer. They're going to be able to hold on. They're 3 wide for the lead. Now, it looks like it's anyone's game. Schaefer going to bang into Thurston, going to be able to bang into Page. They're all going to be able to hold on, though. Page, Thurston off the track, and now Aiden Walker trying to get up in the second. Thurston going to go off the track big time, come back into Page. Big time incident. Caution flag is out. Yellow on the track once again. Everyone's involved. And this one has been brewing for quite a while. Let's get a wide shot look at it. What a wreck that was. We are back into overtime, and Thurston going to plow into River Page. And a replay, we will get it and see what just happened there. First it starts with Page banging into Thurston. They all go banging into each other again. And Schaefer able to come out with the lead for now. Then Thurston gets contact with Page once more. Page comes into him on the quarter panel. And from there, Thurston's line is all messed up, goes off track. Alex Henderson going to be able to spin. Then Thurston goes into Page. Big time incident. Conklin involved, Guecci involved. And now Braxton Whitaker and Corey Lyles almost gets into it. And you can see that Conklin bangs doors with James Thurston's now nemesis that appears in River Page. And they hit once again, everyone making contact oh so late into this race. And we are not done. It is not over. Stay tuned, as we will head to our second overtime event and attempt of the night. And now it looks like Sean Rowe is up into the third spot. How about that for the driver of the 19 machine? Rowe back in to that third spot. We haven't seen him that far up front in quite a long while here, as Mason Moriarty has made his way back up into fifth. How about that? Able to avoid a lot of the chaos in that most recent incident, the big one there at Okayama. How are you feeling fifth position right now, heading to our second overtime attempt?
I'm feeling like I'm going to be fourth because Conk has to pit. But, yeah, I can't believe it. I hit the button on my PC right before they gridded. So I came in through 2 laps down. I got back on the lead lap. I made a massive mistake on one of them starts and piled up the whole field. But I've stuck with it, and now I'm sitting in a pretty good spot to try to capitalize on some chaos that happens on this next green-white checker.
And we have seen an awful lot of chaos there. It looks like all the leaders were fighting one another, and almost every single one of them was able to wreck there. So now, up front, in the fifth spot, what are you going to do to be able to keep yourself in position to perhaps steal a victory or a high-up spot?
Just try to keep my nose out of trouble. I mean, I got Wilkerson, Braxton, Lyles behind me. There's not anyone too fast right directly behind me. So I'm just going to try to keep up with these leaders and not wreck myself and see if I can capitalize on any chaos that they bring to each other.
And it comes down to tires. It looks like you were on a 17-lap set. Everyone in front of you has a younger set, or rather an older set of tires. A few guys behind you have a younger set, including Jacob Wilkerson. So right now, with 17 laps on the tires, how's the car feeling? And do you think it matters all too much going into the final reel?
It feels fine. I don't think it matters too awfully much because of the heat cycles. These tires, they don't really wear a whole lot, and they're really, really, really loose on cold tires. So I think my tires are right where I want them to be. They're not too new, they're not too old. They're right in the middle where I'd like them to be.
And it looks like the perfect setting when it comes to the tires. So any final thoughts? It looks like a few guys go down pit road. Now you will be in 4th heading into this restart.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be starting behind Chase. No. I think I'm going to be on the inside, though. So I'm just going to try not to get taken out and see what it brings me.
And there we have it, Mason Moriarty now in the top 4, coming down to the 2nd overtime attempt of the night. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
And Mason Moriarty going to get Ben back on his way. The driver of the 6 machine is having a great race so far, as Chase Schaefer having the best race of them all. Aiden Walker is in 2nd here, and Mason Moriarty is in 3rd, with Sean Rowe in 4th, Corey Lyles in 5th, and Jacob Wickerson in the 6th spot, as we will head back to the green flag this time through. And it could be the 3rd overtime attempt, or it could be the finale for this race, the 2nd overtime so far. And we are getting oh so close to the victory. The one driver, it could be Schaefer, and it could be Aiden Walker. So many guys and so many opportunities, and we will see whether or not they're able to make it happen. And coming down to the stripe once again, and it looks like we have only so much time before the Highline Racing League Daytona duels begin. It looks like a circumstance going on in registration, and we're checking in on that as we will go live at the very most in about 20 minutes time with the duels in the Highline Racing League, as we are ready to present another incredible season, the 15th season. As a matter of fact, in the Highline Racing League Premier Series, a lot of information that we will have for every viewer as we get on to the show there, as we now wait for the drivers to get back on their way. Schaefer, Walker, Moriarty, and Sean Rowe, as it looks like Mason Moriarty going to be right behind Schaefer. And Chase Schaefer's been the man to beat so far in this race. And we'll see whether or not these guys make it through the first segment of turns. So we saw a lot of action. If they don't come down to the white, it could be anyone's race again. And even if they do make it to the white, it could be anyone's nonetheless. It's Schaefer. It's Walker. They're still the top 2 here, and nobody able to beat them just yet. We've said it time and time again, these two, the most consistent on the racing surface. 3 laps to go. This could be game time for either driver, as the 93 lines up once again with the 99. Similar paint schemes, similar races. They've been dominant, and nobody able to stop them. Sean Rowe now in 3rd, with Mason Moriarty right beside him. And it is still anyone's race going in to the final few laps, as Chase Schaefer tries to lead him through once again, hopefully this time by to the checkered flag, and we'll see whether or not they're even able to make it there. It could be another wreck. It's all possible with only so much time remaining. It's Chase Schaefer, Aiden Walker, Mason Moriarty, and Sean Rowe, your fastest of 4 so far. The pace truck is off, and this is going to be the restart they're all waiting for. Could they be able to make it to the white flag this time by? We're going to be able to find out. And it's Schaefer and Walker, the 99 and the 93, lead them to the 2nd green-white checkered of the night. Here we go, overtime attempt number 2, and we are green once again from Okayama. This could be it. And Schaefer gets a big shove there from Mason Moriarty. Big one. Lyles goes down to the inside line trying to make something happen, and the top 2 pull away once more. In a door bang in between those top 2, a lot of shoveling, able to keep it on track. And the 99 still holding on with Aiden Walker right beside him, as we see almost a big wreck there. Sean Rowe able to hold on to it. And Chase Schaefer now having a lot of contention for that race lead. Alexander Boderas gets it up to 5th. And Alex Anderson now looking to get something out of it as well. Boderas going to have to run for his life. He's got a lot of fast cars, including Anderson and Conklin. And he spins in front of the field. And he's going to lose every position he just gained. And now it's up to Chase Schaefer to keep it going. The 95 is down and out. Will the 99 meet a similar fate? We're going to find out. And through the first hairpin here, nothing so far. No contest by any other driver. The SKS machine for 93, Aiden Walker, not there. Chase Schaefer slowly but surely runs his race, and nobody able to stop him. Nobody quicker and nobody more patient with the car as Alex Anderson gets in the grass big time. And we speak of bin in the back. A few guys bin it. Calhoff and Whitaker back in the field, though everyone going to be able to keep it straight as Vince Guecci shows up to the battle as well. Gets right through him 3 wide. Chase Schaefer and Aiden Walker have had control of this race all the time it's been going. So coming down to the stripe once again, this could be it for either one of them. White flag is out from Okayama. It could be done next time through, and that it will be. Next flag ends it, and Chase Schaefer leads him down to the white. And a lot of contention in the middle of the pack here. James Thurston along a sea of drivers, and he's going to try to peel it out on Wilkerson, and that he's going to be able to do quite nicely. Not going to be able to make a pass happen as Alex Anderson goes way wide that time by, and now he's going to spin it. And he's down and out. That car is destroyed. And Jacob Wilkerson on the move with James Thurston. Thurston gets into the grass just a bit, but Wilkerson holds on in the 6th spot. Aiden Walker now about a second out on the race lead. He's going to have to push as hard as he's ever gone to make this win happen. If he does it, it could be a shock victory, an upset for his 2nd win of the season. But for Chase Schaefer, he's been the dominating man, led almost every single lap. And he knows he wants it more than just about any other driver on this circuit. Everyone fading back now. Wilkerson going to lose a spot to James Thurston, and it looks like he might be able to lose one to River Page if he doesn't hold on defense. But Chase Schaefer coming through the final segment, the final 2 turns to loop him back to the start-finish line, and it looks like the 2nd hairpin, all he's going to have to pass through before he gets there, as Walker going to be diving it in harder and harder this time by going for broke. Walker is the stripe. They're nearing it. 2 turns remain for this point. And Schaefer able to hold on quite nicely. Walker using every single bit of momentum he has. And the 93 dives it in once. One last time. It won't stick. And for Chase Schaefer, he wanted a mistake-free race, and he will get it. Chase Schaefer wins at Okayama with a dominating performance. Even though we had 2 overtime attempts, he survives them both and wins in dominating fashion. And Wilkerson comes home in 4th. And Mason Moriarty now in 4th as Sean Conklin is in 3rd. Wilkerson backs it down to the 8th. And everyone rushing in as Chase Schaefer comes home your race winner. And what a race for the man in that 99 machine. Nobody on his level. And he wins by quite the margin. Everyone going to be able to get right by him, and as we have a bit of a time crunch, let's get through your race results here and now, as they are already registered and tabulated before we get to your final interviews on the night. Chase Schaefer gets it done in a great showdown. Nobody on his level, simply the best man to do it tonight, as he wins by half a second over Sean Conklin in 3rd. Then Mason Moriarty, hard charger from 12th to 4th, with Thurston right behind him in that 3rd spot. River Page from 4th to 6th, and Sean Rowan 7th, Jacob Wilkerson 8th, Alex Anderson in 9th, and Greg Kalhoff in 10th. As in 11th, Corey Lyles, then Alexander Balderas, Braxton Whitaker, and the final driver in this race. All 14 made it to the stripe. Vince Guecci, last in qualifying and last in this race. Not good for his championship chances, as he is one of the guys who did not gain a lot in terms of points here tonight. What a show. Chase Schaefer comes home your winner by a wide margin. And we see Alexander Balderas going reverse on track there, as we will load back up to the interview systems and make sure we can get one from Chase Schaefer as he loops around the track one last time before he starts up the burnout. And a rightful burnout for a rightful victory. The 99 on the level nobody else could match here in Japan. And the World Tour served him rightly so far, as Alexander Balderas comes up right up to the rear end of the 99 machine. And burning it down in a line here as he comes down to the start-finish. And a dual burnout between Chase Schaefer and Alexander Balderas, two drivers burning it down at once, and Schaefer coming home your winner with Balderas coming home in 12th. Well, they had much different finishing positions, still celebrating what a race that was, as Schaefer slowly but surely backing it down here as he is pushing his car to the limit before it all blows up. Let's go on board and see what he's up to. And the motor has blown for Chase Schaefer. How about the race he ran as he tries to limp it back into pit road at the end of the day? Still victorious in tonight's event. What a showdown put on by the driver of the 99 machine, Chase Schaefer. Pure domination here in Japan. How do you feel?
Oh man, no mistakes I said and no mistakes I did. Holy shit, what a race.
And a
Oh
great
man,
race for you. Absolutely. How was it?
My heart was beating that entire last stretch of it, just over and over. It was just crazy. Just all those restarts, all those chances for it to go down the drain, and just every single time I just had to stay calm and just know what I had in front of me. This is one of those wins where I'm really proud of, because I mean, like every lap except for a few, just domination. I just cannot believe it.
And
Oh
an
man,
incredibly dominant run indeed. So when it comes down to how this race went, how do you feel going into the remainder of the season with all this momentum?
I'm hoping to keep it up. I think after that finish with Thurston getting 5th and River getting 6th, I should take the lead for I don't know about points overall, maybe, but I definitely think I have the lead for points in the Quantum Threat World Tour. So that's nice. Just overall, I'm hoping this momentum keeps up. I mean, the past couple of weeks has been rough just because Thurston's really good at road courses and he's been the one to beat. And so just trying to find a week where I can have that cool mentality and just stay calm, keep consistent laps. It's been tough because he is definitely up there for someone that I'm always looking out for on those road courses. So to be able to dominate like that at a track that I'm so unfamiliar with is definitely something else.
And a great race, and it looks like you were able to beat one of the titans in road course racing here in the IORA Cup Series. And what was the key to victory? Was it just the consistency there? Because you were consistently one of the greatest drivers lap after lap when it came to the pace. Of course, the speed was there, and being able to keep it consistently with the tires, you seem to have it all locked down.
Just keeping consistent, not making mistakes. That's all it really was. Just trying not to, just being safe, really, because there were some moments where, like, when Aiden Walker and me had that battle, just trying to keep cool, tell myself it'll be all right, I'll get past him. I just got to keep calm, wait for the moment, and that's exactly what I did. I wasn't pressuring myself. I wasn't trying to make moves every corner. I was just kind of waiting for that opportunity to present itself, and that's exactly what happened. I was able to put that crossover on him and that intersection, and it just was good from there. Just really not making mistakes and just staying calm was the hardest part about it, because next gens obviously have better brakes, a little bit more touchy. So just really just keeping cool on those brakes when you're in such a high intensity situation was really tough, and having to get my heart rate down a little bit, because that was definitely not a thing. My heart rate was racing for that whole last like 20 minutes of that race. It was crazy.
Either way, able to come home with just about a mistake-free race at the end of this one. Now, Twin Ring, the next race is going to be an oval. So how do you feel going into that? Because there's going to be another one overseas in Japan once more.
I'm hoping that the setup is nice. I'm hoping that the track feels like an oval and doesn't feel kind of like just if it was like a slower Monza oval with how like bumpy it is. So I'm hoping it's got some good racing and it's not really a track position type of race, but we'll see. I'm hoping that goes well. If we can keep our momentum up, keep our top threes going, because I think past 2 or 3 races I haven't gotten out of the top 3. So I'm hoping that we keep this momentum going, keep our mentality good, and I'll do fine.
And absolutely a great set of races for you, Chase Schaefer, coming home victorious here at Okayama. Any final thoughts?
Oh my gosh, sorry, I can't think. Follow at Monster Designs _ on Twitter. Follow at _Monster Designs _ on Instagram. And that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching the stream. Really appreciate it.
And there we have it. Chase Schaefer coming home victorious and a dominating display here at Okayama. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
And there we have it. Before we get to our next driver in this lineup, I'm pretty sure you already know this already, but Sean Conklin, regarding last night's race at Atlanta, you've made it into the FORL Cup Series playoffs due to Xander Prestige
I
being
have
unavailable.
found out. I am very happy.
And how about that for you? Just a quick announcement. We just wanted to get underway. Any final thoughts about that one before we get on with the podium procedure?
The race, the race right now, I don't know what to say about it. Like, it was just chaotic, and I mean, what I wanted to happen happened. I got my top 3 despite everything that happened. I self-spun. I went off the track. I got wrecked. I wrecked. All in those short little period of time that you interviewed me, and we still came back for 3rd. So I will take it. I thought everything was over when I wrecked. I am so glad that it wasn't. It was crazy after that. It was just up and down. People wrecked, other people wrecked. They made a 4-wide move in the last restart. It was up and down. It was a roller coaster of a race. But we are 8 points off the leader heading into the next race, and I will take it.
And absolutely a great race for you as we have dragged you in, and we're going to get our race results back up, so you're going to be very close to the fight for the top of the field. So how do you feel going into the remainder of this one? As you are 3rd on the board for this race, we called you up just a bit early because of the announcement. So any final thoughts when it comes to the strategy of the race or anything else you want to share?
I think it was a good strategy to pit right there at the end, because we were in the back anyway. Why not get some fresh tires to try to make it run to the front? And it definitely worked. So, yeah, I'm glad I pit. And for the rest of the playoffs, I mean, we dominated the regular season. I really want to dominate the playoffs, and I could really use those $300, so I'm really going for it.
And it looks like Sean Conklin in contention on Wednesday nights, but looking for something here on Thursdays too. 3rd of the night tonight. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And now our final driver to interview, Aiden Walker, in the 2nd spot, runner-up tonight. So how do you feel? Oh, so close to that victory as the night went on.
Well, Schaffer was faster than me the entire race. Some points I was faster, but it was just mainly Schaffer that was faster than me at some points. But right when we got the first caution, right before it, I was starting to close in, probably like about 5 tenths away, but it is what it is. Just going for points, so.
And absolutely still in the hunt for the championship standings next week, Twin Rings. So how do you feel going to that one? Because certainly going to be an exciting race.
That's going to be interesting because I don't think many people be racing that because barely any people actually own the track. So that's going to be an interesting one to see how it goes, because how it is, it's probably going to be one person that takes off because the Derriere is going to be absolutely horrible, worse than Pocono. So yeah, that's probably going to be how Twin Rings going to go.
And we haven't thought about the next race on the schedule. So the championship standings looking to be up front in the pack. How do you feel going into the remainder of the season? Any final thoughts before we leave this one off?
I don't even know if the drop points work, so I don't even know if I'll actually get points through for week after the Red Bull Ring, because I can't make it for that race. So yeah, that's gonna be a interesting one. So I'll be racing down in Florida. So.
And there we have it. It looks like some situation going to come up when it comes to the championship hunt. But right now, Aiden Walker looking strong. Runner-up tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You can drag Walker back in there. That will be the final interview we have for tonight's first stream. We'll be back in about 15 minutes time getting another stream up, the Highline Racing League, and they have a great race set up. Actually, great 2 races, and it's the duels, and we are especially excited for those. So thank you for watching this first stream. We'll be back as soon as we can be, and give us just a moment before we get the show back on the road. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed tonight's first presentation. We'll be back in just a few minutes time. We're going to end it just a bit quickly there. Thank you once again.